Hello and welcome, I'm Oleksandr and you're watching Head to Head with UATV. Today on May 10th, the International Tribunal for the Law of the Sea in Hamburg is considering the case of Ukrainian sailors who were captured by Russian security forces. These sailors have been held in Russian captivity for over 5 months now. To discuss this, we welcome to the studio today Oleksandr Musienko, head of the Center for Military and Law Research. Hello and thank you for joining us.
Hello, thank you.
Just let's remind our audience that the sailors were detained on November 25th in the Kerch Strait in the neutral waters of the Black Sea when Russia captured 3 Ukrainian vessels. And on April 16th, about a month ago, Ukraine asked the International Tribunal to impose temporary measures and release Ukrainian naval sailors and naval ships. So what results to expect from this court case, and possibly when?
First of all, I want to admit that from the moment of the capture of Ukrainian sailors, Ukraine as a state doing everything to release our servicemen and everything that they come back home into Ukraine as soon as it possible. And
let's maybe decrypt what is everything, just so the audience understands.
Yes. On January this year, Ukraine appealed also to the European Court of the Human Rights, and Ukraine in our statement we are calling and we are appealed to the court to abuse the Russian Federation to release our sailors because they were captured illegally and they are prisoned right now illegally. We based our position on the norms of international law, international conventions of the United Nations, as for example the Convention of the Law of Sea, 1984, and other conventions. Then later, as you said, Ukraine also appealed to the Tribunal of the Law of Sea.
Of the Sea.
Yes, and we are appealed, and in this case we also based on the same case of the 2013 when Russian captured the members of the crew of the Netherlands ships nearby Murmansk, Russian region.
And later they released them.
Yes, and then Netherlands appealed to the tribunal, and tribunal in this tribunal
ruled out that Russia has to release
also
people.
Also, as now it was temporary measures, like temporary measures. And,
but Russia fulfilled the court's decision without any hesitations. Was it? Could you please remind us? Was it smooth after the court decision? Was the process smooth?
Russia in that process on 2013, Russia took a part and gave writing proposals to the tribunal, and then
so Russia was participating in the hearings.
Yes.
And this time Russia denies its participation, refuses. Do you think this is some kind of a signal? Can it be some kind of a signal?
It's just a signal of ignoring. It's just ignoring the norms of the international law. Because you know, in that case, it is a difference even between these cases. In that case, Russia captured the ship in the waters of the special economic zone of Russia. And now Russia captured Ukrainian sailors in the neutral waters, in the international waters, and more than that, in the waters of territory that was annexed, Crimea, yes?
Crimean.
Ukraine and other European countries, United States, didn't recognize and don't recognize the annexation of Crimea. But Russia insists that it was territory water of Russian Federation. So it's difference. Even now, Ukrainian position is more objective, more fair, and more in accordance to the documents of the international law.
Well, yes, Russian position, according to Olena Zerkal, Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs, is biased, and she says that Russia is distorting every Ukrainian message, every Ukrainian statement in its own way, and basically calls black to be white and vice versa. We do have a sound bite from the court hearing. Let's listen.
And now, Russia seeks to escape scrutiny of its unlawful actions by asking this tribunal to treat them as military activities, exempt from compulsory dispute settlement under the Convention, even though Russia has previously insisted that the events of 25th November were not a military confrontation. In fact, Russia's conduct constitutes a profound violation of the Convention and customary international law. Let me be clear. There is no question that Crimea is part of Ukraine and that the waters in which the seizure occurred constitute Ukraine's territorial sea or exclusive economic zone. But Russia's actions would violate Convention even if they had occurred in Russia's territorial sea or exclusive economic zone. The immunity of warships is the core sovereign immunity in the international system.
So, the statement from the Ukrainian side is very clear, very direct, and very strong. At the same time, the Russian Foreign Ministry stated that, in their opinion, the International Tribunal for the Law of the Sea allegedly does not have any jurisdiction to consider the case of Ukrainian seamen detained by Russia. Could you comment on this, please?
It's not true because, as Ms. Zerkal said, this is Ukrainian territory and the sea is the special economic zone of Ukraine.
So
and
this is a neutral water, but this is an economic zone of Ukraine?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And we are talking about that even Russian Federation and the ships, warships of Russian Federation were in this situation. There, it was even if it was not a special economic zone, more farther from the sea, it was neutral water. In no case they haven't a right to do army war attack on Ukrainian ships. And it's not true because Ukraine and Russia Federation recognized the convention, United Nations.
The United Nations Convention
yes,
on the Law of the Sea.
Of Law of the Sea. And that's why all disputes must be proceeding in this court.
So what do you expect from this court hearing, and when can we hear the ruling, the sentence, in your opinion?
I expect that we will hear the sentence to the end of the May.
Of May, yeah.
Yes, of this month.
I've heard the same statement from many experts.
Yes. And
this would be
Ukraine will Ukraine have very objective and fair position, and we will have a statement and the court will take temporary measures, and the Russian must be released Ukrainian sailors, Ukrainian servicemen, because I hope that we will have these temporary measures for Ukrainian side.
What do you think about Ukraine's defense team? It consists not only of Ukrainians, but also we do have the foreign attorneys hired. As far as I read in many articles, it is mentioned that the professor from Yale University is also joining the defense team in June. Do you think it changes anything, or does it increase the strength of the team?
I think it's very good, because we have great professionals, and this team is very good. No international law, so I hope that that's only help Ukraine in to force our position, and I expect that we will win this case.
Yes, I found out that Harold Sterling, professor of international law at Yale University, he joins the Ukrainian side in June. What range of consequences can Russia possibly face after, if the court supports Ukrainian side?
I think that Russian Federation hasn't other choice except to release our servicemen. But I think that they will present this not as a just for
as
show,
a fulfillment.
Yes,
of
not
the
just
sentence?
not just for show. As look, we now here we now saw what we will do, as a court said, and we will do. No, they will say that this is only because of our policy. So this is like a gesture. Yes, you can take your servicemen and we will release them, but not of the court, but of the just of the will of the Kremlin.
So
that's all.
Would they still push on this emphasis that this was a threat to the territory, to the territorial integrity of Russia, and now this is a big favor to Ukraine that they are releasing? But would they connect this favor with the presidential elections in Ukraine and the newly elected Volodymyr Zelensky soon to become a president? Do you expect that they would connect this gesture with maybe some kind of a signal to him, maybe to be somehow more friendly with Russia?
I don't think so, because you know, for Russian Federation is very important, and I said earlier about that two accused Ukrainian sailors as their were not prisoners of war, but it was
trespassing
illegal.
their territorial borders.
Yes. They, so I think that we will see that Russian court will be quick, and then after that we will see that Ukrainian sailors will be back home. I hope for that.
Will be released. On this positive note, we have to end the conversation, but thank you so much for your clear comments. That was Oleksandr Musienko, head of the Center for Military and Law Research. Thank you for watching Head to Head. I'm Oleksandr Musienko. Goodbye.